Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the John Campea Show here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea, and this is the daily show where we talk about our favorite things in the movie course, movie and television, and all that kind of good stuff. I even like to sneak in a little bit of sports here and there. That frustrates some people. I don't care. It's my show. And here we go, guys. Whole bunch of stuff to talk about here today, and here's how today's show is going to go. I've picked out a couple of topics that you guys have told me you want talked about. How do you get a topic or a question on the John Campea Show? It's real simple. You just email me anytime at john@thejohncampeashow.com. That's john@thejohncampeashow.com. Make sure you put that word topic in the subject line. And as always, guys, keep those emails to 90 words or less. And then I'm going to save just a couple of minutes to take some of your guys' live questions and conversations pieces. Best way to get those on is, of course, to use Super Chat. It guarantees you get a question on. And, of course, it supports my channel, which is a double win for everybody. All right, guys, quick announcement here, too. I've been listening to you guys. So, as you know, the other week, I started a new afternoon show called Open Mic to really just take all live questions, because I take less live questions now on the John Campea Show, trying to shorten the show up. I started at 4 p.m. Los Angeles time. That was 7 p.m. New York time. I have been listening to you guys. I've had a lot of you guys asking me to see if I could nudge that just a little bit earlier. So starting today, Open Mic will be at 3 p.m. Los Angeles time. That's 6 p.m. New York time. So just wanted to put that on your radar, guys. And with that out of the way, let's get started with the first official email question of the day. And this one comes to us from Alex. And Alex writes, after winning his 20th Grand Slam and making history once again, there is no doubt in my mind that Hollywood will one day make a movie about the great Roger Federer. My question is, who would you pick to direct? Who would you pick to play Roger? And how long should they wait until after he retires? All right, thanks a lot for the question, Alex. And of course, to answer the last couple of questions, I don't answer who should direct this, who should act in this. I generally don't answer those questions, because to me it's the same answer every time. A talented director. Who do I want to act in it? A talented actor. So there you go. Now, if you want to ask me a question like that, give me 2 or 3 options. Say, hey, John, if you had to choose between this person and this person, I'll give you an answer on that. But generally speaking, I don't like taking questions that are, which director should direct X and which actor should be in X? So you guys know that by now. But getting back to Federer, this guy is simply unbelievable. I mean, even if you're not into sports, and I'm not going to pretend to be a guy who follows tennis on a daily basis. I keep my eyes on ESPN when one of the majors is going on. Telling me I don't like baseball, but I'll keep my eye on the television. I'll watch a couple of games when the playoffs are going on, but I'm not a big tennis guy. But you cannot help but be in awe of this dude. He has become the oldest guy to ever reach the finals at the Australian Open in like the last 40 plus years. He just keeps going. I remember not long ago, he hit a stretch in his career where he went 4 years, like he'd won a bunch of titles, but then he was getting older, especially for a tennis player. And then he went 4 straight years without winning a major. And everybody said, well, you know, Roger Federer's career is now winding down. He's not going to win any more majors, but he'll still be relevant and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, in the last calendar year, he's ripped off 3 more majors. He's now won his 20th major. The guy is just a machine. It's incredible. And like I said, even if you're not a sports fan, you have to admire ludicrous excellence. And it ain't steroids or performing enhancing drugs. I mean, if you look this guy, all the tennis players these days look like professional, like, athletes. They're ripped and toned and shredded. Roger Federer just looks like a normal guy. I mean, there's no muscle tone on him. Obviously, he's in 10 times better shape than me, but I'm just saying, it's kind of crazy. Here's the thing about biopics, though. You can't just do a biopic, like pick somebody who's, oh, I love that guy, do a biopic on him. Well, you have no, is there an interesting story there to tell? That's the question. And one of the hallmarks of Federer is that he's basically gone without controversy most of his, if not all of his career. The one thing I think you could make a movie on Federer is that he was one of the all-time greats, and then everybody said his time was done. And maybe you could make a movie about that 4-year drought he had, and his age, and everybody saying he was finished, and blah, 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 and then resurging like that. Maybe you could make a movie on that. But, yeah, I'm one of these guys, so I just don't think, you can't just take somebody who's famous and make a movie about them, because there's not necessarily a story there to tell. Johnny Cash, obviously, huge stories there to tell. I just don't know if there is for Federer, unless you want to talk about that drought. All right, let's move on now to the next question. And the next question today comes to us from Steve Pape, who writes, Woody Harrelson was in Iowa City last night and giving a lecture, and he confirmed that Zombieland 2 and said he just read the script and it's great. My question is, do you think the ship has sailed on a sequel for the movie? I liked Zombieland, but not sure if I'm excited for the sequel. All right, thanks a lot for the question, man. For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, it hit the news over the weekend that, well, attending an event, Woody Harrelson was asked about Zombieland, and he basically said, you guys will be the first one to hear this, we're doing it. Now, here's the thing. I used to consider if an actor says a movie's happening, I used to pretty much consider that confirmation. But in the last couple of years, I've seen so many examples of actors who thought a project was happening and then it doesn't happen. So yes, Woody Harrelson is saying they're doing Zombieland 2. But I've heard lots of times over the past 7 years, different claims that, oh, this writer says the movie's happening. This director says the movie is happening. This cinematographer says the movie's happening, and it never happened. And we've seen lots of examples of that over the past couple of years. So even though Woody Harrelson got on a stage and said, oh, I'll let you guys know we're doing Zombieland 2, I don't necessarily believe it. I'm not calling Woody Harrelson a liar. I love Woody Harrelson. I'm just saying he might be given information that isn't quite accurate or whatever. But whatever the case is, I'm not quite sure it's happening. But the heart of the question that you're asking, to me at any rate, seems to be, is it too late? Is it too late? And I'll be honest with you. I was one of those people that, I'm a little tired of the zombie genre per se, but I mean, I like zombies. I liked it quite a bit. I mean, so into a sequel, a little too late. And it's funny because when the news broke, I saw no buzz about it at all online. None. Like, it was barely a blip on social media. Just nobody talked about it. Like, if Eddie Murphy came out, say, next week and said, it's official, I'm doing Beverly Hills Cop 17 or whatever. No excitement from care. I think the ship, excited, but I'm just kind of feeling like that ship has sailed. I just don't know that that's the case anymore. So I want to put it to you guys. Like, are you at all interested in a Zombieland 2? And if so, how much? Like, are you like, oh my God, Zombieland 2, I can't wait to see it? Or are you like, I really couldn't give a shit? Or are you, well, I'll see it when it comes out, but it's not like I'm going to count down the days. Let me know, because like I'm saying, from my point of view where I'm sitting, it just feels like nobody cares. It just feels like nobody cares. I don't know, maybe they got Woody Harrelson to drop that to just kind of gauge if there is any excitement out there. I don't normally believe in that kind of stuff, but maybe he did. And if so, I'm just not sensing the excitement. What do you guys think? Let me know. Are you guys at all interested in this thing? Tell me what you think. Now listen, speaking of Zombieland director Ruben Fleischer. This is kind of cool. Of course, he directed the first Zombieland. He is directing the new Venom movie that stars, of course, Tom Hardy. And I just got this news, so that's why I don't have any graphics ready for it. So my apologies for that. But he's, of course, directing the new Venom movie. Word just dropped that Tom Hardy got on social media and let everybody know he's wrapped shooting. Now, as far as I know, the movie itself is still in production, but he's done. Like, he's shot all of his scenes. Everything they needed Tom Hardy for, he's now done. Which isn't unusual. They'll try to, depending on the actor's schedule, they'll try to arrange the shoot to get all of the actor's stuff done as quickly as possible, so then they can go on to their next project, and then they'll just do all the scenes that doesn't require the lead actor, after that he's done wraps. But at any rate, so how close they are to wrapping the film overall, I'm not sure. They got to be getting somewhat close, but Tom Hardy's wrapped. And this brings up the word that I made up a number of years ago, but it's the tangibilization of Venom. Because really, up until this point, for somebody like me, the Venom movie has been a concept. I know they're making it. Sony's doing it. It's got Tom Hardy. It's got Michelle Williams. It's got, hot damn, he was just in Rogue One. Riz Ahmed. It's got Riz Ahmed. Let me actually pull up the actual IMDb page here. Oh, of course, speaking of Woody Harrelson is also in it. And I'm excited for it. Now listen, I was one of the only guys, and I think I remain one of the only guys, who when they said they were going to be doing this Venom movie, and everybody jumped up and down to poo-poo on it, everybody was crapping on the idea, and maybe they were right to do so. But while everybody was jumping up and down and crapping on the idea, I was one of the only guys who actually sat here and said, I think this can work. I think this can work. I really do. You can't do Venom without Spider-Man. Says who? Says who? I think you can. I think there are ways narratively to do it that you can. And I'm guessing that Sony must have a pretty decent idea about how they want to do it. It's a good enough idea that Tom Hardy looked at and went, okay, yeah, I'll be involved in that. That Michelle Williams would look at and say, okay, I'll be involved with that. There's too much there to suggest to me it looks like they might have a pretty good idea. And everything we saw from Tom Hardy, whether it was those workout exercise videos the training he was doing, those videos I put one up on YouTube from Tom Hardy for Venom, whether it's his social media posts, whether it's like he seems to be just ecstatic about how it is. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because what's an actor who's involved in a movie supposed to say? Oh, that was a crappy experience. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But, I mean, hey, look, it's worth mentioning. Tom Hardy seems to have been very enthusiastic about this film. He seems to be very excited with what he did in it. So, I mean, there's all that. Now, there will still be the lingering questions. Until October, when this movie is supposed to come out, there will be a lot of lingering questions still. How is this going to tie into the MCU? Is it going to tie into the MCU? Are they going to use Venom as kind of their backdoor way? Will Sony use Venom as a backdoor way to possibly get Spider-Man out of the MCU should they ever end their deal when the deal expires? I don't know, maybe. I mean, I love Spider-Man Homecoming, so I just love the collaboration between Sony and Marvel. I love what they came up with for that, so I hope they continue the deal. But whatever, there's still a lot of big lingering questions. But again, it's that tangibilization. Tom Hardy, this is how real this Venom movie is now. Tom Hardy's done shooting. And I'll tell you what, I am excited for the Venom movie. Maybe it'll be a big piece of crap. Totally possible. Like a lot of you guys are predicting it's going to just be garbage. Maybe it will. But I'm telling you, I just kind of feel like I think they've got something here. And I can't justify that other than to say I'm really looking forward to seeing this movie and seeing what they do with it. And if it's crap, it's crap. At least they took a shot at it, but we'll see how this all turns out. All right, let's move on now to the next question. And the final emailed in question today comes to us from Matthew Yamasaki. And Matthew Yamasaki writes, with Black Panther being the final MCU film entering into Infinity War, do you think we can expect to see post-credit scenes featuring Thanos? Thanks for taking my question and keep up the great work. Well, thanks a lot for the question, Matthew. And to be honest, Matthew, I've actually been getting a few emails. And the reason I selected this one is because it's kind of reflective of a number of emails and messages I've been getting for you guys about how, like, look, roughly, Black Panther is only debuting like 10 weeks before Avengers Infinity War comes out. It's almost like you're watching a two-part series. If you just look at the schedule, that is. I'm not saying if you look at the trailers, but just if you look at the schedule, it almost feels like it's a two-part series. And I've had a number of people asking me, understandably so, hey, John, how much foreshadowing of Avengers Infinity War is there going to be in Black Panther? Hey, John, are we going to see Thanos in Black Panther, whether it's in a post-credit scene or a cutaway scene, like kind of like, meanwhile, on the outer stretches of space, and then they cut and there's Thanos getting his, acolytes together and getting ready to come to Earth. Or some people just flat out asking, hey, look, is Black Panther just essentially being used as a big promo piece for Infinity War, a big, expensive promo piece for Infinity War? And I won't know for sure until tonight. I'm actually getting to go see Black Panther tonight. So I'm very excited. I'm taking Anne with me. Anne's got a big line of dresses hanging on the wall. She's trying to decide what dress she wants to wear tonight. I keep telling her, she keeps asking me, which looks better? And I just say, baby, you look great in all of them. But that's not what they want to hear. They want you to pick a dress so that you can pick the dress and they can go with the other one. Right? Right? Back me up on this, right? If you're a dude and your significant woman comes to you and says, should I wear these pants or these pants? Or should I wear this shirt or this shirt? Our first answer normally is, and we're just being honest, it doesn't matter, baby. You look great in both. But that ain't what they want to hear. They want you to pick one. And whenever that happens, all I can hear is Admiral Akbar's voice in the back of my head going, it's a trap. Kind of like when your girlfriend says to you, do you think my friend's pretty? It's a trap. Honey, do I look fat? It's a trap. If you could have a threesome with me and one of my friends, which one would it be? It's a trap. Anyway. So yeah, but so they present you as the dude with which option clothing they should go with, which option they should go with. And really, when you finally break down and pick one, they go, I think I'm going to get this one instead. I mean, it's just what it is. They want to hear what you think so they know they can do the opposite. Because anyway, I got off on a tangent. What were we talking about? Black Panther. So, I'm going to go see Black Panther tonight. I'm very excited about it. Looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. But, and then I'll have a much better idea of like, are they just trying to leverage this movie to be a promo piece? Are they just doing this? Are they just doing that? And I don't know. We won't. But here's my feeling on it. I feel like they really believe in this character. I feel like they have they're very excited about the story and the narrative they have. I feel like if you just wanted to use Black Panther as a setup piece for Infinity War, you don't go out and get a director like Ryan Coogler to do it. So my feeling is, no, I don't think in any way, shape, or form Black Panther is going to feel just a setup for Infinity War. Do I expect a post-credit scene? Now, that's a totally different question. Yeah, I'm expecting a post-credit scene. I mean, at least it feels like you absolutely should. But remember, there have been several times in several Marvel movies that have come out where it's like, it feels like this is the movie they should do this kind of a post-credit scene for, and then they don't. They do something completely different. I am not going to be shocked. I will not be shocked if they do like a post-credit scene and it really is just a scene that kind of sets up what could be a future Black Panther 2 movie somewhere down the line. I won't be surprised if that happens at all. But if I had to put $5 down, yeah, I'm thinking we're either seeing Thanos or one of his acolytes or something like that in a post-credit scene. Again, the Infinity War is just 10 weeks away. So I'm going to be surprised if that doesn't happen. All right, guys, that will do it for the main questions that you guys have sent in to me. Thank you so much for that. It's now time for us to go into the live questions. So thank you for sending them. By the way, guys, if you have not sent in a live question yet, do not send in a live question anymore. I'm just going to take the ones that we have right now. So let's get started here. The first live question comes to us from Tom Grocut, who writes, World Cup winner prediction. I think England. I'm going to be honest with you, my friend. I don't care because Italy's not in it. And since Italy isn't in it, I still can't believe, I still got to pinch myself to believe that Italy didn't make it. But since Italy's not in it, I've lost interest. So there's that. Amy Singh writes, your thoughts on the Royal Rumble? I loved it. Yeah, me and Ann and Kaori and our friend Ryan, we got together, ordered Chinese food and watched the Royal Rumble. I watch wrestling now about maybe once or twice a year. So I'm watching the Royal Rumble and like Kaori just totally follows wrestling. So does my friend Ryan. And like, I've never even heard of 70% of the wrestlers that came out. I had never even heard of 70% of them. So I'm so out of touch. But I got to tell you, man, professional wrestling's come a long way. It is far more athletic today than it has ever been. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, holy crap. If like anybody did any of these moves 10 years ago, they would have been considered the greatest wrestler of all time. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. It was really, the level of athleticism that these wrestlers have now is just stupid impressive. Just stupid impressive. All right. Padriak Conway writes, I hope Clark Gregg and Haley Atwell are in Captain Marvel. It's not a stretch. I mean, it seems to me like Marvel doesn't want to put Coulson in the movies anymore. However, if you're doing like a flashback, it's not a stretch to have Haley Atwell. I mean, we've seen them use Haley Atwell in the flashback stuff before, so that wouldn't be inconceivable. It's also not inconceivable to bring in Clark Gregg to play Coulson for a flashback scene. I mean, I don't think you're going to see them as major characters who are there throughout the film, but as far as little cameos here and there go, like Haley Atwell did in Ant-Man, that's totally conceivable. So I would put an over-under number, seriously, as high as like 40% on that. I think it's very possible we could see these guys pop up, even if it's just for a quick cameo. Siobhan Dixon writes, hey, John, what are the must-frame posters that one must have in his room? What are the movie posters that you would hang on your wall? Well, whenever I hang posters on my wall, I've got a couple of go-tos that I usually start with. One is a Shawshank Redemption poster, one of the greatest motion pictures ever made. And it's just such a beautiful film, and there are a couple of variants of the poster that are great. Original Matrix poster usually is one that goes on the wall. Some of the, even though I'm not a huge fan of the special editions of Star Wars, the special edition posters are killer. So I usually go up with a special edition poster. So other than Star Wars, an original Matrix poster for the first Matrix, and one of the Shawshank Redemption posters. Those are the ones I usually go with. Siobhan Dixon writes, John, why do people crap on Spider-Man 3 so much? It's the weakest of the three, but I still like the movie. Other than emo Peter, I didn't mind the rest. Sam Raimi made a lot of mistakes in the film. And to me, with Spider-Man 3, I've always said this, you can just kind of feel that Sam Raimi's creative juices, I just think Raimi was on that one franchise for too long. And I'm a massive Sam Raimi fan. But it just felt to me like for instance, here's the thing. Bad guy wants to get at Peter. So they kidnap Mary Jane, dangle her from a high place to trap Spider-Man to come and get her. They did that in all three of Sam Raimi's movies. Bad guy kidnaps Mary Jane, dangles her from a high place, and wait for Spider-Man to come and get her. This happened in every single one of the movies. I mean, that's just an example of, I felt like Raimi was going back to the tropes over and over and over again. And I just felt his creativity slipping away. And it just didn't work. So, and I think a lot of other people feel the same way. And hey, if you like Spider-Man 3, that's great. I'm not going to talk you out of it. I'm just saying, yeah, for me, it didn't really work. And it's unfortunate that. Square Geek writes, thoughts on the Black Panther boycott? Haven't heard about, I mean, obviously it's not gaining much momentum because I haven't even heard of it. To be honest with you, Square Geek. Patrick Conway writes, best hand-to-hand fighter in the MCU. Cap America is my opinion. It's probably either Cap or Black Panther. This guy, because Cap and Black Panther, they had a couple of goes at it, and it was awesome when they did. I'll lean towards Captain America. But, I mean, a Black Panther would have to be a high contender for that as well. So it's an interesting question. That's a good one. Let's see. Square Geek writes, did Black Panther beat the pre-ticket sales yet? I don't know what you mean by that. Beat what? The all-time pre-sales record? No, it didn't break that. Did it break the Marvel pre-sale? I'm not quite sure what it is you're asking, to be honest, because there are 50 different pre-sale ticket records you could be talking about. You have to be a little bit more specific about that. All I know is that its pre-sales have been very good. Right now, the projection is they're projecting the Black Panther will open at $120 million, which would be great. I happen to think it's going to nudge up around $130 million range. I mentioned this on the video yesterday. The record for the highest grossing origin superhero movie, like by origin, I mean a solo superhero movie in their first standalone movie. The all-time record is Deadpool with I think it's $136 or $137 million, something like that. Black Panther has a shot at beating that record. It's not going to be 200 million. It's not going to be 180 million, but it does have a shot at breaking that Deadpool record. It's going to be interesting to see if that happens. Info Maniac writes, greetings and salutations from India. Well, thank you so much, Infomaniac. You know, I've been floored the last month or two about just how many people you guys in India watch the show and send it in. So thank you so much. I'm humbled. Thank you. Shivam writes, what's your reaction when somebody tries to leave the theater before the post-credit scenes in an MCU movie? Do you feel like telling them to wait? I always feel like it. Yep. But I usually keep my mouth shut because we look, post-credit scenes in these movies have been around long enough that people know there are post-credit scenes. But a lot of people just don't want to sit around. Like, they just sat through a 2-hour movie. They don't want to sit around through another 7 minutes of credits, just sitting there watching credits roll to watch a 30-second post-credit scene. So I know there are a lot of people that feel that way. I will sit through the credits for sure, but I know a lot of people just feel like, it's not vitally important. Anything that it is, I'll hear about it online. I've been here long enough. I want to get out to my car, beat the rush, use the bathroom, and go home. So every time I feel like saying, wait, guys, there's a post-credit scene, but I usually keep it to myself. Let's see. Andrew Gifford writes, what would Walt think of Disney today? I don't know. I really don't know. I would honestly have to sit down. I don't know about the person of Walt Disney. I mean, obviously he'd be thrilled. What, my company's now one of the most powerful in the world? He'd be very happy about that. But honestly, it's a great question, Andrew. But you'd have to talk to somebody who has a better understanding of Walt Disney the man than I do to really give even a semblance of an informed answer to that, which I just can't do. But seeing how many billions of dollars is worth, he's got to be happy about that. Yang Kinnerich writes, greetings from Texas. Keep up the good work. Much love. Thank you so much, Yang. I appreciate that very much. Angel Chang writes, John picked the second best dress, so she picks the best. But let's be honest. I don't know what the best dress is. Look, have you seen me dress? Have you seen me dress myself? I have no fashion sense. I never have. Like in high school, I just jeans and a white t-shirt or a black t-shirt. That's me. I mean, I am colorblind when it comes to fashion. I have no fashion eye at all. So it's like sometimes when Ann will come out and say, hey, do you like these shoes or these shoes better? I'm like, really? You're asking me? I am the dumbest person in the world when it comes to this stuff. I just don't know. So yeah, it's a good strategy, Angel, but even that wouldn't work for me because I have no idea which one the best one would be. Siobhan writes, with The Last Jedi ending its run at $1.3 billion, which is less than what Avengers Age of Ultron made, is it safe to assume that both Infinity War and Avengers 4 will make more than Episode 9? Never assume anything. I think I would put my $5 on it. It is, but remember, $1.3 billion. That is one of the most successful movies of all time. It just is. It was the most successful movie domestically and worldwide of 2017. It's in the top 10, top 9 of the all-time worldwide box office. It's in the top 5 of all-time domestic films. It's a huge accomplishment, but it really all depends on if Infinity War is well received or not. Because if it's badly received, which I'm not expecting, but if Infinity War is badly received, you could see what happened to Justice League. I mean, it could just take a nosedive and maybe not even break $1 billion. That's unlikely, obviously, but you never know. Elijah A. Name writes, why is Hans Zimmer doing Fox's X-Men? Shouldn't he wait until X-Men goes to Disney? Why? He's a composer. That's what he does for a living. He was offered a job. We will pay you X amount of money to come in and do this job. Why should he wait until they go to Disney? I'm not following the logic here. Why would the composer of a film think, no, I'm not going to do that film until it goes over to another studio? I don't understand that logic. So, no, I mean, that's like saying, why is this actor in that movie? Shouldn't they wait till it goes over to Disney? Why is this publicist getting involved with this movie? Shouldn't they wait for it to go over to Disney? I mean, look, there's still a possibility here it may not go to Disney. Maybe the Department of Justice says, nope, this deal can't go through. We won't know for about another year. That's unlikely. It seems like Disney and Fox dotted all their I's and crossed all their T's, but we're not going to know for a while. But even then, Elijah, I'm not really quite sure why that would make any difference at all. I can't think of a reason why that would make any difference at all. Personally, maybe you can. Matt Haley writes, ranking of Shore, Duplat, and Zimmer. I'll go Zimmer, Shore, Desplat, but I mean, hey, let me actually sit down. If I had time to sit down and make a list of all their films and soundtracks and actually pour over it, maybe I would do my list differently, but off the top of my head, that's what I would say for that. All right, guys, that will do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for joining me here. Guys, don't forget, jump down to the comments, leave your thoughts on any or all the topics that we discussed here today. Make sure you come back a little bit later today at 3 p.m. We, of course, have open mic, which is just an hour long of nothing but live questions from you guys. And also taking audio and video questions that you guys have sent in. That's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying taking your audio and video questions. We got a whole bunch of them lined up for later today as well. Hey guys, listen, don't forget, if you enjoy my shows and you enjoy watching them, do me a favor, consider going over to patreon.com/John Campea. Get all the information about what it means to be a Patreon supporter, how being a Patreon supporter actually makes my show possible, and what benefits there are to being a Patreon supporter. And maybe you will decide to be a Patreon supporter. If so, great. If not, I'm just happy you're here being a film fan with me. And of course, you can see my social media stuff right down here. Just follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, simply at John Campea. That will do it for me, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.